is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Portland Trail Blazers and their 4-7 start. Now, this isn't the first time the Portland Trail Blazers got off to a bad start. They did it a couple seasons ago, and they was able to correct it at the end of the season, going on a run that helped them make it to the playoffs. And I think that their defense has been not where it needs to be. But just like I said, coming into this season, video game Dame is going to have to do more just because they lost us so much talent like Harkus, like Aminu that fit and filled those defensive wing spots at the 3 and the 4 and sometimes at the 2. We know that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum aren't the best defenders at their position, and you can even make an argument that they're undersized as players at their positions. But we also have been seeing that CJ hasn't been CJ, and that's been another reason why this team I thought was going to struggle. I thought that CJ McCollum was going to have the season of his life for them to be able to be competitive and make it to the playoffs in the West, just because so many teams have improved and so many teams have gotten better this offseason. And I feel like the Portland Trailblazers, they didn't have the best or worst offseason. They made a couple questionable moves, letting some of their guys go, making a trade for Hassan Whiteside, which made sense at the time because they didn't have Nurkic coming into the season. They didn't know how long it was going to take for him to come back. So they had to, get that defensive anchor, that guy that can rebound and protect the rim. But the problem is he's not the passer that Nurkic is. He's not the offensive player that Nurkic is. And Nurkic was having, to me, one of his, if not his best season last year before he went down, and showing how great of a passer and how a versatile offensive player that he has become, which is very unfortunate because he was a big piece when they traded for him. I thought Denver was going to hold on to Nurkic because of his potential. They ended up picking Jokic over Nurkic, and it was a good thing because Nurkic was able to get major minutes in Portland, and he was able to develop and get a lot of playing time that, raise your IQ and make you a lot more comfortable, especially when you're playing with guys like CJ and Dame that can handle the ball and also create a lot of chaos because they like to get the floaters that get to the rim that opens up areas for Nurkic to be effective. And he loves to set screen. Nurkic is just a big, wide boy. So for him to be able to set those screens and get those guys spaces, you have to pay so much attention to Dame and CJ because of their ability to get to where they want on the court with their ball handling ability. But they also are great shooters off the ball and on the ball, and they can do it off the dribble. So I think that's very important. So losing Nurkic was a big blow. I personally didn't believe he was going to be out this long, and the problem is we still don't even know when he's going to come back. And Portland had just looked so slow and so dull. And the saddest part about it is I came into this season saying Damian Lillard's going to be one of those players that's going to be in the running for the scoring title, just because they need him to get 30 plus. That's how bad their offense has been. That's how bad their defense has been. The only way they're going to win games is by outscoring the opponent. Anthony Simon's not a great defender. CJ is not a great defender. Damian Lillard ain't a great defender. Hazonia is a wild card. Rodney Hood has never been known as a defender, and he always has been inconsistent. I thought them taking a gamble on Rodney Hood last year was a smart decision, and it did pay off, and he did help them in the playoffs, which is very important because that's the whole reason why you signed him. And that's the whole reason why you trade him, to take that gamble to see is he worth the risk. And I feel like he was going to be the worth the risk for this Portland Trailblazer team, and it ended up playing dividends for them, and it actually helped them get to the Western Conference Finals because he made big shots. But now they let go a lot of players, and Simons, he looks real good. He looks confident, and he feels like he has that swagger that he can do whatever he wants on the court. And I like the fact that he plays in the fourth quarter. They can go small. He can play multiple positions, and he can play off the ball. It gives them a little bit more of a dynamic offensively that they really didn't have outside of Shabazz Napier and Seth Curry. But he just fits in more younger, and he can be a long term solution for those guys. But when I look at this Portland team, they just look, power crap. It just seems like so many more teams have more talent and they just gel a lot better. It seems like Portland's still trying to figure things out and they still trying to figure out how they're going to play certain players and what they can get out of certain players, and they just don't have enough reliable guys that you can go to war with every night and feel confident and comfortable that you can go out there and compete with anybody. It seems like Dame and CJ is going out there playing the game. And I feel like Dame has the right mentality as a franchise player for him to get the contract that he got and for CJ to get the contract they got. You would think that this is the team they want to be on. This is the team they're going to play for. And this is the duo that they feel they can win the title. And then you look at this season, it just seems like it's a disconnect. It seems like everybody's not on the same page and people not really understanding their role and what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying for every player, but a lot of these players, when I'm watching these Portland games, they just don't seem like they aggressive. They don't seem hungry. They don't seem like they want to win enough. And I feel like Dame has been trying to do whatever he can to put this team in a situation to where they can win the game or steal the game or close the game, but they haven't been able to do it so far consistently. And I think they're going to continue to have a lot of the same problems unless, you know, they get on the street where they're knocking down shots consistently and their supporting cast step up. And that is the problem that I had coming into the season. Who can you literally rely on, especially since Nurkic is gone right now? Who can you really rely on for 30 to 34 minutes outside of CJ and Dame? Who can you rely on every single game besides those two? And CJ to me is having a down year. So you can't even rely on him every time right now. He might get it going. That might be the push that they need to get to that playoff spot. But I had Portland making the playoffs, and I had them making it as the eighth seed. I thought that they will literally have enough just to get into that eighth spot, and they going home early. And a lot of people, if you see the Lakers, if you see the Clippers and teams like that, even the Houston Rockets or the Denver Nuggets, this isn't the same Portland team that we seen last year. This is a different version of that team, and they have different personnel and they have different style than they had last year. So I really want to see what Terry Stott does. I know they're not going to tank the season. I know they're not going to give up. I know they really believe in CJ and Dame, so I don't think those guys are going to get split up or broke up just because they got off to a bad start. But eventually they're going to have to go on a good winning streak to get them into the playoff spot and to get them a cushion so that way if they take a loss, it don't drop them out. And I think they're capable of doing it. I just want to see who's going to be those teammates that's going to elevate their game to the level of Dame. Dame is going out there leading by example. He's showing you that he wants it. He's showing you that he's willing to do what it takes to take this team to a W. Even if it's going for 30 every game, which he's averaging 32, even if I have to go for 60. Whatever I have to do as the leader and as the franchise player of this team, I have to go out there and show my teammates I'm all about winning, and I'm going to do what I have to do to give us a chance to win the game. And I will give Damus credit; he has done that. But I still want to see as the season go on, will this team be a team that's willing to make that trade? And if they do make that trade, will it take them over the top? Will it make them a contender? Because right now, even though they went to the Western Conference Finals, I never seen Portland as a legitimate team that can compete for a championship. And they basically proved it when they got swept by Golden State without DeMarcus Cousins or Kevin Durant. You can't do that if you really want to be known as a serious contender in the West. And I know that the Warriors are multiple time champions, but that was when they was at their most vulnerable. That's when they was at their most beatable. And you couldn't even close out or win one game. And it seems like the same mentality and the way they played that series is basically what I'm seeing right now at the start of the season. 4-7 ain't that big of a hole. They can always get an easy couple of games and knock them out, but they've been losing to teams like Golden State without, D'Angelo Russell and Draymond. They've been struggling. literally struggling to get W's. And I don't really see anybody on this roster that can really take their game to another level outside of CJ. But other than that, I really want to know who's going to be that fourth, that fifth, and that guy off the bench that can really stabilize and give them consistency that they really need at this point to take them over the top to get them back into the playoff run. I'm not panicking. Like I said, I don't think they're going to have to separate them. I don't think that anybody significant on this team needs to be traded. It's just something to keep an eye on is the Portland Trailblazers. Will they continue to be mediocre? Will they just be good enough? Or will they finally miss the playoffs after all these years of making it in a row? Is this the season where they miss? I won't keep an eye on it, and I'm letting the Portland Trailblazers fans know you should keep an eye on it and continue to watch every game like I do, because this team is either going to go up or they're going to go down. And the only reason why I say that is either you in the playoffs or you're not good enough to make it to the playoffs. And a roster is good enough if they play to their capabilities, but also you can't really count on some role players. That's why they're known as role player. They fulfill a specific role, but there may not be a consistent player on your roster. And they got a team full of role players, and they just got two all-star caliber guys, and that's it. So let me know what you guys think. Will Portland make it to the playoffs? Will they make a trade? Or do you think that this is the season that they finally fall out and become a lottery team again, which could help them. But I doubt that Dame and CJ going to go out there and try to lose on purpose. And they just literally signed their contract extensions. So it's obvious that they want to play with each other. It's obvious that they want to stay in Portland. But it's also obvious that this isn't the best roster in the current way the West is built and how every team has gotten better. This may be the worst time to have a roster that they do. And that's why they have a chance of not making it. But let me know what you guys think about Portland in the comment section below. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.